Last time on Pokemon Violet, we defeated the Team Star Rook base. This time we're back to do our final lessons. At least I hope they're all here. Yep, looks like they are. Like to do biology with Mr. Jacques? Yes, I would. Hello, I hope everyone's ready to learn some new things today. Next time we meet, we'll have our final exam. That means today is our last actual class. And the topic for this class will be Pokemon forms. You can just think of forms as the shapes or appearances that Pokemon have. There's also a phenomenon called a form change, where Pokemon's appearance changes under certain conditions. Cyclizar, for example, which we regularly ride on as transportation here in Paldea, has 3 forms. First is basic form where it walks on 4 legs. Second is battle form where it stands on its hind legs to engage in battle. Finally, there's this ride form where it inflates its throat sac and its tail so that we can ride on its back. So we can use something you're all carrying with you now as an even better example. Yep, I'm talking about your phones. Some smartphones are inhabited by a certain Pokemon. Does anyone know the Pokemon I'm referring to? Rotom! You're a regular expert on Pokemon and technology, aren't you, Rory? The Pokemon inside your smartphone is Rotom, and does all sorts of things to help you out. A Rotom inside a Rotom phone is special, so it doesn't try to enter other electronics. An ordinary Rotom, however, can change form by entering washing machines, microwave ovens, and other electronic appliances. Rotom is a bit of an exception though. Many Pokemon that change form do so simply by holding an item or having one used on them. Oricorio, for example, has 4 different forms it can change between when given certain nectars. Pokemon may even change type or learn different moves when they change form. Form changes are different from evolution, and the Pokemon can return to its original form. And unlike shiny Pokemon, which can't change a special coloration, the same individual Pokemon can go back and forth between its forms. There's a lot to dig into with this form change phenomenon, as you can see. We can all learn something from Pokemon here, don't you think? Bit of a stretch, but I'd be happy to see you all enjoy your time at the Academy to the fullest, and change form into a new version of yourselves. Or something like that anyway. Oh, I almost forgot. Regional forms, which vary based on what region the Pokemon comes from. Don't change like other forms, they're an innate... Oh, too late. Whoops, there's the bell. I guess I'll scatterbrain Mr. Jacques right up to the very end, huh? I had a great time teaching all of you. Hope you'll do your best on the final exam. Hello everyone, I hope we can have fun once again today for our last class together. Hey Miss Teacher, I defeated your sister the other night. It was really good. Last time we learned about probability using move accuracy as an example. Probability is quite an interesting subject. Do you know that in a class with 40 students there is a 90% chance that 2 of them will have the same birthday? This is true even despite the fact that there are over 300 days each year. Isn't that remarkable? Let's move on to today's topic before we get swept along with probability again. I'll be teaching you all how to calculate damage in this class using examples like type matchups, critical hits, stat boosts, and the like. All these variables are multiplied together to calculate damage dealt to an opponent. Oh, did you know that there's an even simpler way to increase the damage of your Pokemon's moves? All you have to do is have your Pokemon use the move it shares a type with. If a Rock-type Pokemon uses the Rock-type move Stone Edge, the move's base power of 100 is multiplied by 1.5. Become 150. Ground and Rock may seem like similar types, but if a Ground type Pokemon uses Stone Edge, the move's power will remain 100. Super effective moves and critical hits also add multipliers onto this little numerical increase, so it most certainly must not be taken lightly. Let me ask you a question to see if you understand what I'm talking about here. Say you have a move with a power of 100. The Pokemon that shares the type of this move uses it, and hits an opponent that is weak to that type. What happens to the move's power? The move's power will remain 100. So it most certainly must not be taken lightly. Let me ask you a question to see if you understand what I'm talking about here. Say you have a move with a power of 100. The Pokemon that shares the type of this move uses it, and hits an opponent that is weak to that type. What happens to the move's power? Is it 300? It is. You did that calculation all in your head? Well done, Hero. First, using a move that shares a type with its user, multiplies the move's base power of 100 by 1.5, making the power 150. The fact that the opponent is weak to the move's type then doubles that power from 150 to 300. The original power of the move ends up being tripled, isn't that amazing? What's more, if a Pokemon terrestrializes and its Terra type matches one of its original types, then a bonus it gets for using a move of that same type increases from 1.5 to 2. Of course, being able to use a lot of moves with different types is great as well. It's one way you can surprise your opponent. In the end, your own innate characteristics are what will really let you shine the most. Bear in mind that this is true for both humans and Pokemon. It sure would make me happy if you could take these words to heart. I suppose I should really have shared this basic advice right from our first lesson. My apologies. And just like that, class is over. The last of our time together flew by in the blink of an eye. It was so much fun to be able to teach all you eager students around numbers. Next class will be our fun final exam. Be sure to review the material well in preparation. Greetings, my little students. Whatever you did yesterday is now part of history. Today is our last class, so I'd like to unravel the marvels that history has presented to us one last time. In our last class, I taught you about Area Zero expedition of 200 years ago, correct? Sure, if you say so. Alas, 200 years ago is not that long ago at all. How unfortunate that our history lessons must march so inexorably towards the future. Would it not be more of an adventure to march towards the past instead? To start from our present and study history in reverse? That might be hard to follow. Indeed, it may be difficult to understand the flow of events, how one thing leads to another. We will trace history in reverse. I suppose I have no choice but to let the flow of time carry us toward the future. In this last class of ours, I shall fill your minds with the history of the Terra style phenomenon. The technology behind Terra Orbs has its origins in Area Zero. Even after the Area Zero expedition supposedly reached the crater's deepest depths, others continued to explore that area. And around 140 years ago, Pokemon cloaked in mysterious light were discovered there. As you may have already guessed, these were, in fact, terrestrialized Pokemon. However, when those who discovered these Pokemon brought them out of Area Zero, the light faded and the Terra style phenomenon remained a mystery for quite some time. However, 10 years ago, that might as well be present day, a certain someone you have definitely heard of unraveled this mystery. Perfect timing to make eye contact, young rogue. Answer me this. What is the name of the famous professor who unraveled the Terra style phenomenon mystery? Professor Churro! Correct, giving that you, a new transfer to our academy, could correctly answer this question. You must be very diligent in your studies. Approximately 10 years ago, a professor named Churro unraveled the mystery of the Terra style phenomenon. He discovered that the shining crystals down in Area Zero, or rather, the energy they emit, is what causes Pokemon to terrestrialize. This led the professor to invent Terra Orb technology and to develop practical use for it. This technology was then shared with both the Pokemon League and our academy. Rumor has it that Director Cliver was one of the researchers on the professor's team. Alas, this story is much less exciting now that someone we all know appears in. Modern history truly is dull, isn't it? Thus ends my history classes. Our next session will be our final exam. Bring the wonders of history to the forefront of your minds in preparation. My dear friends, how are you all today? It's time for the last of Salvatore's language lessons. Etevukre, are you ready? Oui. What a response! Fantastic! Great answer that is. Perfect for our last class together. I love it. And aujourd'hui, today, we will once again be having a listening lesson. Vas-y. Go for it, my assistant. Take a P, Pikachu. Let's get right to it, my little Pikachu friend. For our last listening class, tell everyone how you're feeling right now. S'il te plaît. Oh, can you feel that? That's one contagious emotion in Pikachu's voice. What emotion do you suppose Pikachu was trying to convey just now? I have no idea, I'm just gonna go with happiness. Well done, Rook. I'm so happy that you got it right. Get it? When Pikachu says, Cha! It's expressing happiness. Doesn't it make you just want to break out into a happy dance? But I didn't have to ask Pikachu to put on an act today. Oh no, I simply asked her to show you all how it felt about getting to have class with you. Getting to meet so many new friends and study together in this class with you. It's made both me and my little Pikachu so very happy. And now, apropos of nothing, let me give you all one last wise word of advice. As you live your lives, I'm sure you will all have times when you get mad or sad. Maybe even more than you would like. Everything has its ups and downs. Life is a veritable roller coaster. But, Elephant, in the end that is, there is surely happiness waiting for you. So gare la soiree, keep a smile on your face, even in the hardest of times. When you're faced with a problem that you can't handle alone, find someone to rely on, be it a teacher, your family, your friends, anyone. Our prochain cours, next lesson, will be our final exam. Be sure to review what we learned in all our lessons so far. Adios, matinee. Hey, Ceruledge. Oh, Soup! This is our last class, but don't let those anti levels drop before we wrap things up. You've shown that you have more than enough knowledge to be super strong battlers. I don't know that I have much left to teach you, but we can always aim for ever greater heights. So today I'm going to teach you about the rules of link battles. When two trainers participate in link battles together, they can engage in either single battles or double battles with each other. If you're playing in a group of 4, you can all battle each other in multi-battles. Now, when you're out having battles during your independent study, you can use whatever number of Pokemon you like. They can be any level. But in link battles, there are special rules to keep in mind. Some of these special rules involve adjusting Pokemon's levels. Now, the no restrictions rule lets all Pokemon stay at their current level. It lets trainers use multiple Pokemon of the same species, and multiples of the same held item too. But if you choose to use normal rules, all Pokemon will be set to level 50 for your battles, regardless of what level they actually are. This even includes lower level Pokemon. They'll get a power boost to participate. Normal rules let you use multiples of the same Pokemon species and of the same held items too. The great part about this rule set is that it lets any of your Pokemon participate. All you have to do is learn some good moves. Lastly, the rule set called Flat Rules mostly affects Pokemon over level 50. Such Pokemon will be set to level 50 for the duration of the battle. The Flat Rule set is the one often used for official tournaments. This rule set does not allow trainers to use multiple Pokemon of the same species or multiples of the same held item. Alright, here's a question for you. Which rule set should you pick if you want to use a lower level Pokemon and keep its level low? Flat rules. That's the one, new kid. Looks like you were listening to the lesson. If you've got some clever strategy that you need to use the level 5 Pokemon for, your best bet is to choose the Flat Rules rule set. Of course, you can also choose no restrictions if you want to battle with any Pokemon you want at any level and with any held item. That's a pretty good rule set for when you want to battle freely with friends. In conclusion, normal rules are just all Pokemon to level 50. Flat rules let you use lower level Pokemon at their actual levels. I hope you'll use these tips to have some exciting battles with your friends. Oh man, I was just about to suggest we do some hands-on practice to really drive the point home. But I guess we truly are out of time. Next class will be our final exam. Aim for the perfect score. Osu, Osu! Hello class, it is I, Hassel, yet again. How time flies, as they say. Indeed, our time together has certainly flown by. It's hard to believe that this is our last class. Now, our topics for today may feel somewhat unrelated to art. But there is absolutely no set definition as to what art should be. Therefore, let us carry on with the discussion and see where it takes us. There are two things I wish to focus on today: ribbons and marks. Both ribbons and marks are special honors that capture a Pokemon's qualities. There will be times when your Pokemon gives maximum effort by some noteworthy experience. In recognition of its feats and accomplishments, it can be given a ribbon. To give an example, if you manage to become incredibly close to a Pokemon, it may be granted the Best Friends ribbon. Incidentally, there was a person in Cascarafa who can give your Pokemon a Best Friends ribbon. Marks, on the other hand, are mostly found on wild Pokemon when you meet them for the first time. They can symbolize the character of a Pokemon, such as with a Rowdy mark or the Vigor mark. It's completely up to luck whether you'll run into a Pokemon with these marks. So if you're able to catch a Pokemon with a mark, rejoice at your outstanding fortune. Does anyone know what special thing you can do with Pokemon that have ribbons or marks? You can change their title. Wonderful, Rook, your knowledge is impressive. The correct answer is that Pokemon with ribbons or marks can be given titles. What's more, they can be sent into battle displaying a title of your choosing. For example, you could send out a Gible with a Best Friend ribbon by declaring, "Oh, Gible, the great friend!" And while I know I just said that marks are generally found already on Pokemon when you meet them for the first time, it seems that more recently, Pokemon can be awarded certain marks based on their efforts. These are the marks such as the Gourmand mark, the Item Finder mark, the Partner mark, and so on. Perhaps it might be fun to try to work out how to get each mark using its name as a clue. Well, that just about wraps up our last class. Next is the final exam. Please review our material closely so you can pass on your first try. Put away your phones, it's time to begin our last class together. Home economics is the study of life's necessities, but looking back on our time together, I realized that I focused almost entirely on food. I hope it is not too late to shift our discussion. I will get it. I hope it is not too late to shift to a discussion of clothing, another necessity, in our last class. As I'm sure you're aware, our academy has an air of freedom about it. We provide uniforms for each season to accommodate the diverse climate of Paldea. However, students are free to wear whichever style they wish whenever they please. You should have all received 4 sets of tops and bottoms, one each for spring, summer, fall, and winter, and the academy accepted you. Is that all? Are these students wearing the same shirt and pants for the entirety of 3 months of the year? Because that feels real dirty. If, by chance, you are not aware of this, you may wish to peruse your wardrobe. As long as you wear our school uniform, the rest of your ensemble need not be school issued. This includes your bag or your hat if you choose to wear one. You are even free to style your hair however you wish. Mr. Salvatore's hairstyle, for example, would almost certainly have been against school rules when I was a boy. That reminds me. There's one more thing you all like to decorate, which I must say I find quite charming. Our Rotom phones? Perfectly correct. That's the adorable little thing I was speaking of. Oh, it interests me so. I must admit that I am fascinated by Rotom phones and how to customize them. What's that? How very intriguing. So there's a shop called Delibird Presents, where you can purchase cases for your rodent phones. I thank you for that useful bit of information. I shall have to go myself first thing tomorrow to get an adorable case of my own liking. Forgive me, I seem to have gotten a little carried away with this small talk. Now, as this class, known as Home Economics, nears its end, I offer these final words to you who have been honing everyday life skills with me. My field of study is not so decisive as the likes of mathematics, for instance, where test scores might play a part in deciding your future. However, as you go on to cook for yourselves, to take care of your Pokemon, to decide what to wear in the morning when you awaken, I'd be honoured if what I have taught you serves to smoothen out and enrich your lives, even if only a little. This sentiment was imparted to me by Mr. Hassel and his particular outlook on such matters. I thank you all from the bottom of my heart for seeing this class through to the end. Our time together has come to a close for today. Prepare to do your best in our final exam.